Good morning, listeners and viewers. It is Quest Television and Quest Radio. And guess what? It is time for the newspaper review, looking at the trending stories in the world of news, sport, and entertainment. My name is Sarah Omowigo, but I'm not alone. I'm here with my colleague, Mr. Alex Ogbonaya, and of course, our stream guest, Comrade Odomo. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Morning. I'm a prophet, you know.
Oh, prophet.
I decree Abraham onto you now.
I refuse to receive.
I like that. I like that.
So with that being said, like I said, we'll be looking at
That's
the
a good
papers
one.
this morning. So much has been happening in the country so far, talking about the tribunal petition yesterday, final verdict. So let's see what the papers have for us this morning. All right, so our first paper up for review, that would be the Tribune, looking at the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And the big story there says, PEPs affirms Tinubu's victory, dismisses Atiku Obi APM's petition. Kick underneath that one says, FCT has no special voters, insists fine by U.S. courts didn't disqualify him. Asset INEC can't be forced to electronically transmit election results. Rule Shetima eligible to contest. Tinubu hails judgment, asks challengers to put patriotism over partisan consideration. LP rejects judgment, a Papa faction endorses verdict. You can read more on that on page 5 and 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. All away from the major story there, other stories from the paper read how fire incidents created panic at Lagos Airport. Yeah, I saw videos of that one. You can read more of that on page 16. What you will find on page 8 says students protest over fees at Unilag from 19,000 to 190,000.
Wow.
100,000 difference. Yes. While still looking at the Nigerian Tribune, 5 escape death, property destroyed as flood ravages Ekiti. You can read more on that on page 15. I think we'll be doing a good job announcing about incoming flood, asking citizens to pack up and leave those areas. All right, we have another one here, says $14 billion new investment at Nigeria-India roundtable excites Tinubu. You can read more on that on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. And on page 6, federal government increases price of prepaid electricity meters. Single phase meter 82,000 naira, 3 phases 143,000 naira for the meter. And the last we can take from, not the last, one of story here says nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. Another story here says Tribunal declares Natasha Akpoki Ali winner of Kogi Central or your state senatorial polls. You can read more on that on page 8. On page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune, Nigeria only OPEC member without shipping line. Oyetola is saying that one. And we have the shake up in customs as acting CG redeploys area controllers. You can read that on page 16. Or because of the time, that is the most that I can take from the Nigerian Tribune. Mr. Alex, over to you for the next paper review.
Yes, indeed. The next paper up for review is Daily Trust. And expectedly, Daily Trust leads with the tribunal story. It is captioned, "Why we dismissed Atiku Obi's cases tribunal." And it has riders, join me in nation building. Tinubu tells opposition, PDP, LP reject verdict, APC hails judgment. Democracy people have won. That's according to Buhari. Judgment difficult to fault Yedudu. INEC fought petitioners to stand still at Degborua. That's the lead story on the front page of the Daily Trust. Incidentally, that's the only story on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Over to you,
All right, thank you very much. The next paper for review is The Guardian. Can we have that on our screen? All right, so the big story on the Guardian paper says Tribunal affirms Tinubu's victory, dismisses petition. You can read more on that on page 6. And above the masthead there says stakeholders raise concern over next hike in price of prepaid meters, realizing that they now sell for 42,000 and 143,000 per phases. You can read more on that on page 6. And on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper, says Tribunal sacks another Kogi senator, declares Akpoki Uduaghan winner. That's good news to those who support her. But we're still taking some stories and headlines from The Guardian. Says why election matters are difficult to prove in court. This is coming from Tonye Cole. You can read more on that on page 3. Why elections matter are difficult to prove in court. 17.7 million Nigerians hungry. IM orders faces acute food insecurity. You can read more on that on page 3 of the Guardian paper. And on page 8, the business page says 6,000 cargoes abandoned at Apapa tin can port since 2011. Athletics, why it was all wobbling, fumbling on Budapest tracks. You can read more on that on page 4 of the Guardian paper. Well, that is all that I can take from the Guardian this morning.
Up next for review is the Nation newspaper. Again, the Nation, like other papers, lead with the court petition ruling, presidential election petition ruling. Tinubu Shetima floor Atiku Obi at tribunal. It has riders as well. This time, this one, tribunal strikes out petitions of PDP and LP, APM candidates, Shetima, Ganduje, Damagum, Abure, governors, ministers, others in court. President welcomes verdict, seeks support, jubilation in India. That's because the president is in faraway New Delhi, where he's attending a G20 summit, a UN event in India. Above the masthead, tribunal sacks another Kogi APC senator. That's on page 8 or 6, I beg your pardon. Rerun ordered in Delta South. NLC directs members to resume work. Fire guts FAAN's accounts unit, airport basement. You can get that one on page 7, and then the NLC directing workers to resume work is on page 6. Customs redeploy officers, that's on page 26, and the Unilag story is on page 28. Unilag students protest, of course, over increase in the tuition fees. And that's that from the Nation newspaper. Over to you, Sarah.
All right, thank you. So because of time, we'll quickly brush through the Punch newspaper. And the big story here says Atiku Obi plan appeal as election tribunal dashes bid to sack Tinubu. You can find that story on page 2. Kicking underneath the big story says Atiku Obi's rigging allegations not proved. A transmission not compulsory, says PEP. It is victory for democracy. Tinubu, APC hail judgment. LP Atiku film fought tribunal. Above the masthead, on page 19 of the Punch newspaper, says consumers protest as federal government hikes electricity meter price by 40%. On page 13, NNPCL Ford says of NAC assets to Oando. And on page 19 of the Punch newspaper, gas revenue drops by 3.3 trillion naira in 12 months. And underneath the big story here says tribunals, APC loses 2 National Assembly seats, PDP wins 1. You can read more on that on page 6 of the newspaper. And on page 4, 17-year-old boy locks in parents, steals car, and others. MMIA fire, air traffic controllers relocates to mobile tower. You can read more on that on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. And that is the much that we can take this morning. But right about now, it's time for us to turn to our extreme guest, the Prophet, the Comrade Odomo. Once again, it's a pleasure having you here. So what do you have to say about the stories this morning from the different newspapers?
I think the common or the LCM of all the stories so far is this of the tribunal issue.
Tribunal, exactly.
Actually, Tony said it is too difficult to prove election malpractices. What he has said is perfectly correct. Because for you to actually prove it, even when you know that it was carried out, you need all the ballot papers to be recounted, you need all the polling units, agents, and all this and all that. It is a very difficult situation. You know, it's just like you are arresting somebody that the person is a witchcraft. How do you prove it in the court?
How do you prove it?
You know fully well that this person is a witch. The judge knows that the person is a witch. But what law are you going to use in prosecuting that person? It's a difficult one. When that Ozeribe was there during the time of MPN and the UPN, NPP, ANPP, and co, he did say, win first and let the losers go to court, and the case will lie there. That's exactly what we are seeing. We are seeing in this scenario. But all I will say is, when more than one person fights for a position, one person is definitely going to emerge. Let the others fight and run away so that they can come back tomorrow to fight again.
Could that be where INEC chairman got his statement from?
Possibly. You know,
because the point is really that Atiku and Obi going for appeal since the tribunal court has kicked against.
Well, everybody has the right to do whatever he wants. You know, if you are in a court, if you have a court case, you have the right to go to any length to obtain information that will make you, or that will help your case, irrespective of how you got it. But let it be cogent and correct. If they feel they still have other things that they can argue in the appeal court to give them victory, nothing stops them. But I will have felt well, in Africa is rulership by conquest. This is not a Europe. Rulership by contest. I would not say they should take the verdict like that because they have their own decision to make.
True. Sure. Okay, let's look at NLC now. The gist here on The Nation above the masthead. NLC directs members to resume work. How effective has the 2-day warning strike?
I don't even know that there was a strike at all because I didn't see the effect anywhere. Most of the banks that say are not going to open, most of them were on duty. Even yesterday I was in one of the banks. We got services as usual. The civil servants, so most of them refused to obey that rule. Most states refused. Some of very few, scantily, they agreed to join. But it does not create, or it never created any effect that will make anybody panic that they are on strike. And they call it a warning strike. There is no day we should be every day we should not be shouting wolf, 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 wolf. Let us sit down, map our strategy, and we'll go forward.
All right, with that being said, the phone lines are open for you to be a part of the program. On your TV screen, it is written there. For those who are listening by radio, the numbers are 080-22-931-931 or 081-888-931-931. Do also call these numbers and get through to us to give your say and your opinions this morning. Hello, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning. This is what I heard from Africa.
All right, please go ahead.
Pep has sent Tinubu's ministry. Labour Party, PDP, reject it. Yeah, like there's something that you said there. When people read and you find that it's very difficult to prove, like the leader council of the Labour said, so that when the leaders are satisfied with the outcomes of the elections results, and the fact that based on the institution of government, they could not prove it, the people may resort to self-help, which is very bad. We must know that the world focus on Nigeria, and we must not forget the trend of coups and all over the place. It has been in this country. When the government they cannot get a re-judgment for the tribunal, anything will really happen. So we pray that they do their appeal, so people to come out again. Then finally, students protest fee hike. As you like, let's go for 90,000 to 119,000 naira. Now, the truth is that there's hardship, but they are still giving us hardship. People look at the increase of a meter. So the federal government should do it. Nigerians are suffering for crisis, but it's like they are adding more suffering to us. It's like when you go to the time of the Bible, the time of when the Obama was made a king, and everybody throw the dividing to 2,000 trap. We don't want to take Israel in Nigeria, please. They should reduce suffering of Nigeria. It's too much. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Harry. Because of time going forward, we'll be allocating 45 seconds to every caller to air their view, so other callers can have the chance to call in the program. 081-8888-931.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is Mr. Enoch calling from Ughelli.
All right, go ahead.
Labour Party rejects election
verdict.
They have the right to make appeal to the Supreme Court. So if they're not satisfied, they can make appeal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you just called to state that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we're still taking your calls, your opinions. What do you feel about the headlines this morning concerning the school fees hike, or what would I call it now, from 19,000 to 190,000?
I don't know the yardstick they use in getting that.
Education no longer the key to the future.
No, but you should know that for a very long time, education has never been the key again. Because the slogan in Warri and other big English-speaking areas of Nigeria, they will tell you who education help. You know, somebody is struggling to even pay 19,000. You are not asking the person to come and pay almost
because I saw
200,000.
videos of the protest. Also supposed to be a peaceful protest, but according to report, says tear gas was being thrown at students.
Now, let me ask you this question:
Violent,
have you ever seen a peaceful riot? Have you seen that there is a riot and it's peaceful? Have you ever seen it?
Is it a riot or a protest?
It wasn't.
What leads to riots?
Before the protest, the students' union leaders they came out to say, look, it's a peaceful protest.
We have the
DSS
chances
and police should stay clear. It's a peaceful protest. They should go about carrying placards and to register their anger. And because of how they have planned it, but the police came in and probably, everything
Students
changed.
must always be students. You cannot have a peaceful protest in the school environment. All of us went through the 4 walls of a school. There must be somebody that will spark a riotous situation. Definitely. And the police and the other security agencies don't want it to snowball into fracas. That is why they are there. Before the police started shooting the tear gas, were they attacking the students? That's the first question.
So why would they shoot the tear gas?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know other ways to handle the situation.
Which other way? No other way. No other way to handle it. Though it was not right to have started shooting tear gas, but no other way. Because you can also appeal to the students to go back and they will listen to you.
Okay.
But the government should at least feel the pulse of the nation. 190,000 plus as school fees. Somebody was saying that he has 2 children in that school. That is almost 380. I mean, the person's salary as a civil servant is not up to 90,000 a month. So do you not go and take a LAPO loan to pay your children's school fees? And you not go through this rigor. You come out at the end of the day as a graduate, you roam the street of Nigeria for the next 5 years, no job, and when you manage to get on the return, we will start you with 50,000.
Okay, I think let's take one last call. Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Your last caller. Let's make it snappy.
Hello.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is John from Otogo.
All right, please go ahead. You got 45 seconds.
What is the government of this ACC it's all about? Hiking square, hiking school fees, hiking tariff of electricity. Who do they want to rule? Do they want to rule the houses or human beings? They should look themselves for Africans voting for Nigeria. Let me just tell you. Africans voting for Nigeria for revolution. So they should be very careful. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, that's a sound warning or advice.
Mandela said this when he was alive, that the whole black race is looking up to Nigeria. And until Nigeria take her rightful place in the Committee of Nations worldwide, no black man will be respected.
Well, according to our president, it says this reforms, this new plan he's bringing, Nigeria would only face hardship for a certain period of time before we start to see, the reformation we are looking for.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But because of time, that is the much that we can take. My name is Sarah Mowigo. I've been doing this with my colleague, Alex Obonaya, and my guest, Comrade Odogbo. But yes, we got to go now. Bye for now. Good morning. Enjoy the rest of your day.